He was totally dedicated and service-minded, and there is a lot of things to learn from his life. And what a glorious long life of service. I think Gautam, before he joined our club, he was past president of Rotary Club of somewhere in Ahmedabad South. And then he joined our club, and he proved to be one of the biggest asset to our club since he contributed so much. I mean, there can be a lot of things which can be said about him, but I would say very briefly that he was a thorough gentleman, selfless service, and once I had occasion to travel all the way from San Francisco to here to Bombay. We were on the same flight, me, Sudha, Saroj Ben, and Dr. Damany. And we spent a lot of time at Frankfurt Airport also for about 4 hours talking about so many things of life and Rotary. Sure, we are going to miss him. Thank you.
I request Rotary past President Vishwas Kaya to offer his condolences.
कैमरा में बताएगा तब चालू कर दें बस.
Dr. Damany was like a head of the family. Age-wise, he was senior. You can consult him on any matter, whether it is medical, whether it is Rotary, because his knowledge of Rotary was such that he used to conduct regularly Rotary quiz, and his knowledge into that is admirable. We missed him at every level because any new president or the old also, we have some questions, medical particularly, and we can depend on him. So we are going to miss him all the time. May God give him Sadbhavan.
Rotary past President Vijay Modi.
Respected Saroj Ben, Karthik, and Paulami. When I am standing here, I am at loss of the word. But as Kishore Bhai said, that he looks like soldier, and he was soldier. He was very courageous, very brave, and he played great role during the communal riots in Ahmedabad in 70-71. And similarly, during 93 riots in Bombay, I mean, he was so brave that he used to, he never missed his duty, and he used to travel all over, and he performed his duty. I had opportunity to work with him on 2 projects. One was polio immunization at Shivaji Nagar, and second, very recently we did Sion Hospital equipment. So at that time, I had very good opportunity to interact with him, to come close to him, and me and Kiran had privilege to visit their house during lockdown. Sarojben, I am sure it's going to be very difficult for you to bear this loss. May God give you strength, and may his soul rest in peace in heavenly abode. Thank you.
Rotarian past President Ashok Puranik.
जय हो.
I'm at loss of words where to start. He has been a friend right from the day I have come in Rotary. As a president, he has been immense help. Without going into much detail, I would say that stitch in time saves nine. He was that kind of person. Every project, blood donation or you talk any medical project, his hints were like a stitch in time. And we really saved our club from many, I would say, otherwise what would have happened. I will narrate only two instances. My younger brother met with an accident. It was lying on the road. Somebody picked him up and took him to Rajaway Hospital. At Rajaway Hospital, they found somebody else's address. From that address, they found my mother's address, telephone number. From my mother's telephone number, she telephoned my wife. When Pratibha got the call that Atul is lying at Rajaway Hospital, she did not telephone even me. She telephoned Dr. Damany. That such thing had happened and what should we do? Without losing even a single second, he said, go there, tell my name, pick him up and bring it to Hinduja Hospital. I will book a bed for him and we will see what can be done. Can anybody expect this kind of reply? And Atul was brought at 4 o'clock. He was operated at 8 o'clock. And now you can see Atul walking, running without any difficulty. This is only one. On the lighter side, even his driver Sheikh, if he comes early, he telephones my driver, I have booked another parking area for your car also. What else you can expect? Whole family helping each and every person. Friends, I cannot continue any further. Thank you.
Rotarian past president, Girish Davde.
Friends, Dr. Damany for me was a Rotarian with high Rotary values. And the first impression I carried when I joined 1989, I used to interact with him. And I used to see the warmth and affection of all Rotary members towards him. That really everybody used to respect him. In fact, in 1989, I joined Rotary and I was occupied with my profession. Then I used to be seen in club very rarely, but what used to really motivate me is the presence of stalwarts like Dr. Damany and our past president Gautam and others who were the stalwarts of this club who made this club to reach heights. So I continued up to 2012 and when I retired. And thereafter, I have been again in touch with Dr. Damany. Whenever there was some issues of my wife's health, I used to call first to Dr. Damany to take any appropriate actions, and he was always there. Even after the issue is settled, he will call on his own and say, "Vaju kashiya bariya na re?" So this was his, like he was one amongst our family, as a family doctor. His Rotary values, his spirit of Rotary, his principles and ethos, belief in ethos was outstanding. And that really has helped many presidents whenever they used to consult him. Also, in terms of projects and any medical projects and any other projects, he used to be very, very useful. We got his so we just
Past president, Ganesh Shanbal.
That news which came with Dr. Damany was a true shock. Because my entry into Rotary, the first time I ever talked of Rotary Club was when Damany talked, it was during Damany. When he said that 3-4 years accounts are pending and there's a deficit, and that's how my interaction with Rotary started. Although I joined much later, I joined in '89. But I remember, and since then, I mean, I joined in '89 and 30 years of Rotary. He was all the time, whether it's Rotary knowledge or handling certain situations. He was like a father, he was like a guide all the time. It was really, I've been interacting with him. In fact, recently, one of my clients, he had this neuro problem. And then I said, the best doctor I can recommend is Dr. Damany. He said, yes, I already heard 2 people recommending that. How do you know? He said, he's very close, I can call him right now. You really feel proud that you're associated with such a great man. Everybody recognizes. In Rotary, as a human being, like always. And the last I communicated in was on 1st July. It's a Doctor's Day. I just sent him a message, Happy Doctor's Day. He replied, we are missing. And today I have to join all of you and say that we are missing. That's how the company was. Thank you.
Past President Sunil More.
It's really difficult to express anything at this stage about the late Dr. Damany. Fatherly, very affectionate and ever smiling person he was. And you feel solace when you meet him, and we are going to miss him too much. I wish pray to God that his soul rests in peace and gives courage to his family to carry this news. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Past President Suhas Masurkar.
Actually, we have lost a very good person. We should be known as Bhishma Pitama of our club. I am so lucky that always he had helped me and my family many times. He was just like my friend, my father, and my grandfather also. So I really feel very bad. And we are in great losses of it.
Rotarian Past President Gautam Dev.
Hello.
Respected Saroj Ben, Paulami Ben, and Kartik. We at Rotary Club of Mumbai Sion have lost the brightest jewel in losing past President Dr. Bharat Jethalal Damany. A neurosurgeon with a brilliant scholastic career and an extremely high level of proficiency in his profession with uncompromising ethical standards.
a Rotarian par excellence in the classical mold, and above all, a great human being to whom most of us and even our family members relied to seek medical advice and psychological solace. Invited to join Rotary in 1965, he was charter member of Rotary Club of Ahmedabad South, District 305. Club president for 2 terms, 68-69, 69-70. During his term of 69-70, he was awarded the District Community Service Award, District 305, for his yeoman services during communal riots, even at the risk of his life. Inducted to the membership of our club in 1977, served as president during 84-85, displayed his administrative and financial acumen, raised funds to wipe out the deficit of the past 4 years, updated club accounts for past 4 years, and set a benchmark to present accounts at the culmination of the Rotary year, which is now a club culture. I was indeed very lucky to be the club secretary, and in that year I learned how less of Rotary I knew. During 82-83, he initiated and chaired our club's Polio Plus campaign in the slums of Dhara, in collaboration with the Department of Preventive and Social Medicine of Lokmanya Tilak Memorial Hospital, much before RI's Polio Plus Trust of 86-87. Adorned several district assignments in his Rotary career spanning over 5.5 decades. Dr. Damany epitomized 2 Rotary themes: kindle the spark within and look beyond yourself, which distinguished him from a member of a Rotary club to that of being a Rotarian, embodying the Rotary ethos of service and empathy, personifying the Rotary ideal of service above self. As I fondly reminisce with a heavy heart the association of my family and myself with Dr. Damany since 1977, with tearful eyes I bid a final adieu to my Rotary guru, friend, philosopher and guide, with whom I was habituated to exchange notes and pleasantries over the phone almost every day. I pray to Almighty for his soul to rest in peace and offer heartfelt condolences on behalf of Anuradha and myself to Sarojben, to Dr. Sarojben, Karthik and Pawan. Thank you.
Rotarian past president Lalit Kumar Chetta.
Good evening, friends. It's been a very sad moment for our club, for all our members, and I'm sure that we all, from the bottom of our heart, loved Dr. Damany. Well, he was the pillar of our club, no doubt, and his Rotary knowledge and of course his medical knowledge was par excellence. I do not know whether in the future our club will have a man like Dr. Damany. And we are going to miss him very much. All of us, that's why we are here today, to pay our respects to him. And I'm sure that his soul will rest in peace because of all the good things he's done on this earth. I wish the family all the strength to bear the loss of such a great man. Thank you.
Rotarian Ramnath Padik.
Good evening to all, my colleague Rotarians. I'm not very, I was not very closely associated. I'm new for the Rotary Club, but I have a very a good memory about his association with me and interaction with me during the last 3 to 4 years. Whenever I used to attend the Rotary meetings. He was one. Whenever he is coming with his wife, and also all the time you will find him very smiling. he has helped not only me, but my granddaughter recently during the pandemic period, because my daughter has also, my granddaughter, she has undergone the COVID, and she has tilted one eyes to this side. So she was always reading like this. So I was very well disturbed. I consulted Delhi doctor, I consulted Mumbai all top doctors, neurosurgeon, eye doctor, eye specialist, Bangalore, many other places wherever I wanted to, I was knowing the people. Lastly, I consulted Dr. Damany. Somebody told me there is a Dr. Advani in the Hinduja hospital. And I was told that he is very busy. You will not get the appointment for the next 1 month period, 1.5 months period. So I said, I just remembered Dr. Damani. And he said, don't worry, he has been my student. So he himself has phoned, is it just 2 months back, 2 months I'm talking about, very recent, 2 months back. He has phoned doctor, when I contacted Dr. Advani, I was told like that he don't have a time appointment till next 1 month he will not get it. When I talked to him, he said he is my student, he has been my student, don't worry, I'll manage it. I spoken to him around 1 o'clock. By evening, I got phone call from the Dr. Advani's PA that can you come just now? Just now. And I said, we were there, we said, I'll come. There is no choice available. So we went there, he attended that, and he has suggested no medicine. And Dr. Damani also, when I again consulted him, he said, don't give any medicine, only do the exercise. Majority of the doctor was suggested that you must do this medicine, you do put this medicine, ointment, this and that. Dr. Damani said, no, you only do the exercise, and exercise was very simple. Within 10 days time, she became all right. So I can't forget that. We were so much worried, the entire family was worried, being a child, girl child, and having this type of problem. If it was not corrected or not properly treated, probably lifelong she would have suffered. So I can't forget Dr. Damani's help which he has provided me at that particular time. I'm really, when I came to know about on 26th, I was really very sorry and very, very sad about losing our friend Dr. Damani. And Rotary certainly has lost one of the very senior person and very competent person who I think Rotary will always remember him. So this was my experience. Similar experience my wife has. She has also migraine problem, and then he also treated her. So I am a direct beneficiary of his advice and direct beneficiary of his knowledge about this. And this thing has happened within certain period of time. So I am really thankful to Dr. Damani and Saroj Ban. Now she is there. All my good wishes. She should have all strength to bear this loss, because the family losing such a senior person in the family is a really big loss. Like a parent, Rotary has lost a parent, in fact. So I pray Almighty God to rest his soul in the peace, and I pray pray to God to give enough strength to the family of Dr. Damani. Thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you, sir.
Rotary past President Surendra Madresha.
Everybody in life looks for which model to follow, whom to imitate, whom to follow. And then that quality comes in probably one field or second field or third field. But Dr. Damani is a person or the person whose human qualities, whose Rotary qualities, whose knowledge, whose passion, whose compassion, all the things were singular. And I think the greatest, I mean, he has benefited I must say, I think everybody. And for example, I just slightly stray and come back. For example, when surgery of my wife earlier, surgeries were happening. Now, it's not limited only to just talk to a doctor and just, she will of course say that, doctor and just make sure that the good treatment is. He was there for those 3 hours in the operation theater. And who was I? I was a most junior Rotarian, but then it never made any difference in his thinking. So what I was trying to say, what really we can do is list out his qualities and all the colleagues and friends are doing, and then try to imbibe at least part of it in us. That will be a real tribute and real celebration for such a wonderful soul, wonderful man.
Rotarians, Lucia Margaret.
Dr. Saroj, Paulomi, Karthik, and all the near and dear ones of the Damany family, and my Rotary friends. Good evening to everyone. Dr. Bharat Damany. As soon as that visual comes in front of you, you see a fine gentleman, a brilliant, excellent neurosurgeon. He was caring, compassionate doctor who was very helpful to many Rotarians and Rotarians and their family and their relatives and their employees. Surendra and I were very fortunate to have him as our friend doctor, and we always remember him with fond memories and his great sense of humor, which made every tough situation or every tough illness a very small thing. I always admired his great sense of humor. He was, like Surendra said, I had an attack of appendicitis, which was not really detected because I was having a backache rather than a stomachache. And so nobody in the hospital could, I was taken in the emergency room as soon as I got the pain, but nobody could find out. And believe me, it was my luck that Dr. Damany spotted Surendra at the emergency room. And we were new Rotarians at that time. He just came in, took charge of the whole thing, suggested what could be the problem, took me inside the operation theater. I was operated for appendicitis. It had completely turned gangrenous, and it was a matter of half an hour whether I would, if that next half an hour, if Dr. Damany had not appeared there, maybe today I would not be standing here also. I was also in another case where I had fibroids in my uterus, and hysterectomy again had to be done in emergency. Dr. Damany suggested Dr. Usha Saraya. Again, like Surendra said, he stood by my side for 3 hours. And this incident of appendicitis, actually, Dr. Damany was leaving the hospital. And just by chance, he saw Surendra. And after that, like around 1:30 in the afternoon, he stood by me for 3 hours. And he used to treat me like with so much respect, it's so much love. We are deeply grateful to Dr. Damany for many such innumerable incidents and times when we visited his consulting room at Doctor House. Not only for our family, like I said, even for my employees. One of my employees, her sister was having some neuro problem immediately, and Dr. Damany came to our office to speak to that employee. Imagine. And he came. I said that she's a little bit disturbed and she's not ready to visit any doctor. He said, okay, I'll come to your office. I mean, unimaginable. Late Mr. and Mrs. Vasgate, they literally worship Dr. Damany. Any incident, they would phone me and say, Ruchira, we are coming to Bombay because Dr. Damany, we are consulting him. I mean, everybody in this Rotary Club has consulted Dr. Damany for everything. Whenever I came alone to Rotary meetings, Dr. Damany would come to me and say, I will leave you home. How are you going? And he would open the car door for Dr. Saroj and myself and make us sit in the car. And you won't believe it, nobody has done this for me. My father also has not done, my husband has also not done. When I got down, he would get down from, and he would sit in front, and Dr. Saroj and I would sit at the back. And he would get down from the front and open the door for me to get down. I used to feel like this is too much. Such a senior man opening the door for an ordinary small being like me, what more can my luck take me to? I was also very impressed with his deep voice. He had a very deep voice. Hello, what do you say? You know, it's such a deep voice. His kind, smiling eyes, charming, polite mannerism, and respect for ladies. They will be missed by all of us. He was very knowledgeable in all fields, not just medical fields, and he was in Hinduja library for long hours till off late. I mean, he would every day go to the library. His love for music and cycle song, we cannot forget. We were very lucky to be with Dr. Saroj and Dr. Damany on a trip to Sri Lanka, and we enjoyed his cycle songs in the bus. He would sing with that deep voice of his and truly silent style. I don't think anybody can replicate that. Our deepest condolences to you, Dr. Saroj, Paloni and Karthik, and all the near and dear ones of the Bali family. He will be deeply missed by all of us. But like everyone said, he was such a good man that even God needed him. He gave him a long life of over 90 years to serve God, and then he decided it's time, I need him up here in heaven. I won't say may his soul rest in peace, because I know for sure he is in a very high place in heaven. Thank you very much. God bless all of us. And like Surendra said, even if each of us will emulate just one quality of Dr. Damany, it will be a tribute to him. Thank you very much.
Rotarian Past President Tony Singh.
I have no words that can even come close to appreciate and to condone the possibility. I have seen him as a staunch pillar of Rotary, as a staunch pillar of society, and also as a human being par excellence. I think there are no more words that I can say except that I wish that I could be like him in life. Thank you very much.
Rotarian Mukesh Kudari.
Well, everyone says that he was a father figure. Yes, definitely. To the entire club, he treated like family member. And I think in my life, one of the finest human being I ever met, and I'm fortunate to know him, and that I joined this particular club. Dr. Damany, I was recently, just before he was admitted, me and Dina, both of us were invited at his residence, and we were with him almost more than 3 hours. We had a lovely quality time. As Ruchira said, we enjoyed his sense of humor. He was so caring for everyone. Service above self, that was the right motto he used to follow. And thorough gentleman, highly qualified, well read, and travel all over the world. And another quality, what I found in Dr. Damany, he has in his dictionary, like alphabet A to Z, there was not I word. He has never said that I did this and I went here and I did this. Never. That is the greatness of this thorough gentleman, Dr. Damany, and he has in last 5 years, after nearing 90, at the age of 90, during our past president Tony's year and past president Girish Javle's year, he came with us for the fellowship out of India, Sri Lanka and this Maldives. And all that time, he never liked if we approach him that can I take your luggage? He that self-made person and amazing sense of humor. And the best part, he used to enjoy K.L. Saigal's song, and during both the tour, he sang, and we were amazed to listen to his, that control of at this age. We simply enjoyed, and definitely Dr. Saroj Bain and her family. I pray to God to give courage to them to face this huge loss. And one of the proud moment I would like to share with you when in 2019 when I was admitted in Lilavati Hospital for the surgery. Of course, I did consult to Dr. Damany whom to approach, and I had to reach there before 8 o'clock. And from the club, few my very close friends like Vijay Bhai, Suhas, and Gautam Bhai, they had accompanied me. We had gone for my surgery was to start after 8 o'clock, and they had to sit in the lobby, and I went up with the OT. And the next adjoining the doctor's room, Dr. Damany was waiting for me. Now, this is the quality of Dr. Damany. I was amazed, miss. I was so much, I felt so much, I was so scared because in my life I had never gone to the hospital. I wish nobody goes like. And he said, Mukesh, it is nothing, you will not even realize. He gave me so much confidence that I went to the OT. And the doctor was our well-known past president, Jayant Arvan's son-in-law. That is Dr. Ajit Menon. And he saw Dr. Damany in that VIP room and he ran and he called some people and he was to operate to me once I was within 10 minutes. They came almost after 20-25 minutes in the operation theater. And first question, how you know Dr. Damany? And what I observed, the respect he got, everybody was suddenly 8-10 doctors came, they took photographs, they talked to him, and he said he was one of the finest professor and one of the finest, he never bunked his lecture. Now that respect he used to have among the students also. Very caring, very loving, and always till the end, we may call him once or twice that this has happened, but he will remember and till everything is okay with me or with my wife or with my daughter, he will be in touch with us. That is the quality of Dr. Bharat Damany. I wish and pray to God to give courage to Dr. Saroj Bain and her family to face this huge loss. We'll always miss Dr. Damany. Thank you.
Any member or any guest wants to say something?
Dr. Saroj Bain and the family. I think everybody has said a lot of things. I won't repeat any of the things. But just so happened that I had some problem with my nerves in the back. Just few days back, I was just remembering doctor. But the next day I see his photograph. So it was totally lost. I wish them that they repair that loss. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. Good evening, Dr. Saroj and family. I would like to thank you all because Dr. Uncle with us quite a lot when my dad was at hospital. And he used to call me every day and inquire about my dad's well-being. And I requested him to call my dad. He spoke to him. And he tried his level best to speak to my dad. And then he called me and he told me that I tried speaking to her dad, but even कि मारू समझता नहीं आता. But in my mind I said ये तो MD कोई नहीं समझता था. So, but anyway, he tried his level best to console him, and he was very concerned when my dad was in his final days. Also, he kept telling me that please take your mom once to meet him, and I told him it was not possible to take my mom over there since it was a COVID hospital. But we were lucky enough, we requested the ambulance person to get my dad for 2 minutes at my residence. So my mom and my wife paid the last respect. And a few months back also, when my mom was not well, I called him up. So he guided me to get the MRI done. As everyone was saying, I mean, he used to continuously call me after that, how is your mother doing? And he guided me to go to the doctor and things like that. So, I mean, he is a great gentleman. I wanted to meet him, but unfortunately, it was not to happen. But I would like to thank Dr. Auntie and the family for all the help given us. Thank you very much.
Rotarian Shashi Parekh.
I had joined this club in the year 2002. And somehow immediately with Dr. Damany, there was a rapport established. He was more like a, what we call in Gujarati as a wadi, whom I could turn to for anything. But it was not like, openly declared, but we had that sort of a relationship. 2006, my son met with a very critical accident. It was early in the morning, and it was on the highway. He was taken to a hospital at Chinchwad by the police, the highway police. And I was not told till I reached there what was his condition. I mean, by 12 o'clock, the doctors came and they read out the whole thing. That, I mean, he had a big panel of things going behind him, and he was lying limp with his pillow soaked in blood, and he was turned and twisted, and body was lying there. He was not talking. Only one eye he could open a little bit, and he recognized me. That I said, okay, fine. And in his toe, his only one toe could move a little bit. But I mean, I was totally numb, and I didn't know what was happening, and I didn't want to conclude anything. Then the doctor, the ICU doctor came with his team of assistants, and they read out this, and madam, your son is never going to stand up and walk. He's going to be on the bed all his life. I know I came to consciousness after about 10 minutes because I had fainted over there in the ICU. Totally shaken up, didn't know what is happening. I didn't know whom to turn to because there was nobody there. Vijay was aware of it, what has happened. And he spoke to Dr. Damany, and can you believe it? They drove down to Chinchwad. By afternoon, he was there. And can you imagine what a sigh of relief I had seeing him there, standing by me, telling me not to worry, I am here. And also telling me, put him in an ambulance, let us take 2 doctors, bring him to Hinduja, it is my responsibility. I will look after him. That was the moment which pulled me out of my grief, my shock, my whatever you call it. He has been such a fine figure and such a compassionate friend, philosopher, guide. I used to turn to him for anything and everything, and he would be there advising me for my personal problems, my children's, any which way. Many times he has a fine sense of humor. And very often he used to pull me up if I was dressed shabbily. He says, you don't have to dress like everybody. Please come well dressed. Sometimes he even told me that "Pakhari માંથી ઊભી થઈને આવી ગઈ છે શું?" I mean, that sort of thing he would tell me. But yes, with due respect, I would say, no, next time I'll be better dressed, don't worry. And I am going to sorely miss him as a dear, dear, respected senior vadil in my life.
Kiran, any member on the group? Kiran?
No, it's going to be very difficult. So after the meeting, they want to talk. Can I?
Mic on.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, follow me.
Yes.
Can I speak to the no? The
Yes, we can, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, if you can hear us, we can hear you. First of all, thank you very much for setting aside this meeting as a condolence meeting for Dad. We really appreciate it. I'm sure he's looking down from above and smiling, and all the kind and words and all the experiences you had with him. Rotary has been near and dear to his heart from the beginning. It was a third child in the family, if you can look at it that way. And we have spent many a time dropping him off and waiting in the car till he finished the Rotary meetings to make sure that he was there on the Thursday for attendance. As you mentioned, a lot of you mentioned, he was a true scholar and a gentleman, and his passion ran high, especially for volunteerism, and he channeled that through Rotary. Even when he came to visit us in the US, he would make sure that my sister and I would find a local Rotary club for him to attend on that particular day, and then exchange whatever it was, that flag that we usually have. But even if it was an hour away, he would make sure that he attended. Even that if he has been to the US for 3 short weeks, he will make sure he attends a Rotary Club meeting there as well. Somebody mentioned the polio drive. I think he was very proud of that. And so much so that, he was the old school believer. And for the first time when the COVID vaccine came out, for example, he did not understand that could be done so quickly. He did not trust the science behind it because it did not have 4 years of clinical information behind it, clinical study. So he was true old school. But beyond the old school, he was very up on things with the electronics of the day. So whether it's his iPad, whether it's a Zoom call, it's a WhatsApp, banking by phone or banking by PC, he is definitely up. He was definitely up on that, and that just up to the very end, he was attending Zoom conferences and calls and courses just to be connected to his passion and learning all the way to the end. So now again, I really thank all of you for remembering him the way you do, and he will be missed. He was definitely a Superman for me and for the family. Good.
Karthik said most of it, but he's always been my shining example of a life well lived and a life of service in service of other people. And that shone through Rotary and the work that he did with you. And it was, Karthik's right, it was his third child, it was his passion, And it was a way for him to build a community and give back as well. And we're very thankful for your support and companionship and social activities that you brought with for him and my mom, because we're both in the US. And so it's hard for us to constantly be there, even though, as Karthik mentioned, we were on WhatsApp and video and Zoom just about every day. So again, I want to thank you for remembering us and remembering him so well. Thank you.
You want to say anything? Okay. Mummy, anything to say?
Thank you very much for this meeting. Rotary was his life, and he never missed a single meeting, even on the online. He used to listen to what you all have been discussing at Rotary Club. He will go to Rotary wherever he goes, in Australia, New Zealand, all European countries. He always visited one Rotary Club. So I am really thankful to you for showing so much of love, affection, and respect for him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you don't mind, my mother would like to see the recording of this. If you could send it by WhatsApp or however.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ratanji, Vishnu uncle, do anyone want to speak on the Zoom platform? Their camera is off here.
Our condolence resolutions which read as follows. Dr. Saraj Ben, Karthik, Polomi, and family members. We have unanimously passed following resolutions expressing our deep sentiments over the loss of Dr. Damany, who was one amongst our Rotary family. With a member of Rotary Club of Mumbai Sion, note with profound grief the sad demise of past President Rotarian Dr. Damany, who left for his heavenly abode on Wednesday, 26 January 2022. We convey our deepest condolence and sympathy to Dr. Saroj Ben, Karthik, Polomi, and all his family members. We pray to God to give them the strength and courage to bear this great loss. We place on record our sincere appreciations for the active role played by him in Rotary activities and programs over the year with his lively presence, and humbly pray to the Almighty God to grant eternal peace and tranquility to the departed soul in his heavenly abode. With regards, Rotary Club of Mumbai Sion. I request Secretary Rotary Satisha for secretarial announcement.
Good evening, friends. Today's attendance, total 36 members, 3 hands.